and welcome back to the Cover 3 podcast here on CBS Sports. That's Tom Fornelli. That's Bud Elliott. I'm Chip Patterson coming to you live at youtube.com/cover3 and everywhere you get your podcasts on demand. Thanks for hanging out. Smash that subscribe, smash that like, and come and join us in the chat, a.k.a. the Cover 3 tailgate, where our friend Max says condolences, Tom.
What does that even mean?
It's condolences for Fornelli. I like what he's doing. It's 11:27 p.m. Eastern time. We got fired up a little bit early for y'all. The evening slate kind of tidied things up. Right now, we got USC up 3-0 on Michigan State, as I see in some other action as well. But we're not here to give you live play-by-play. No, we've got a lot to get to as we recap what we saw from week 4. We will get into what happened in Bloomington. The escape room looked like it was going to be an actual freaking escape room. I mean, like we got real close to wondering if they were going to be able to find clue number 4 because anyway, yeah. Syracuse, Fran Brown, our friend Robbie Callen said he's shutting off Dabo's water so Dabo can't shower. You know, so making sure that winners get washed there. Texas Tech makes a statement in Salt Lake City. Michigan mashes Nebraska in Lincoln. Oklahoma's defense shines and sacks Auburn. So much more to get into. But Tom, I almost want to rip the Band-Aid off early.
Oh, you know, UNC's loss? Yeah, let's talk about it.
Listen, I never wish injury upon a quarterback. But giving Max Johnson an opportunity to play, I think is a good. No, aside. Yeah, man. Like here. Let me. I'll go ahead and just throw my head in this. It is difficult and disappointing when there is so obviously a spot in a game that could be competitive that makes it not competitive. And it starts with, as you mentioned, losing Xavier Scott. And then you lose another DB. And then you lose another DB. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, so who's out there on the field? And they're going up against a quarterback in Fernando Mendoza who, you know, like trust me, we are going to be judging Fernando Mendoza against the best quarterbacks in college football here, at least for the next couple of weeks until he faces like the next really tough opponent. After throwing up 5 touchdowns in this game, like we are going to be talking about him in that conversation with the best quarterbacks in the country, the John Mateers and whatnot. So to see that quarterback and that setback for Illinois, I mean, as a fan, did you just sort of see what was happening as it unfolded?
First, I will start by saying that was an ass beating. Yep. Indiana was the far better team in that game. Their defensive line ate Illinois' offensive line alive. Illinois never had a chance to win this game because of that. If Illinois is fully healthy in the secondary, they win by 21-24.
No,
the fact that Illinois was, by the end of the game, Illinois was down 5 defensive backs. That's why they lost by 50 points. But Indiana probably only wins that game by 24 if Illinois is fully healthy because the offense wasn't able to do anything. And in the first half, like the run defense for Illinois was fine. In the second half, things completely fell off because the defense was on the field the entire time because the offense couldn't do a damn thing. So, like, Indiana steamrolled it in the second half. I think, like, Kobe Martin finished with 107 yards rushing. I don't remember if he had a carry in the first half. I think he got all of those in the second half. Fernando Mendoza was 21-23 for 267 yards and 5 touchdowns. Like, Illinois was bad from the start. There was the blocked punt on that led to Indiana's first touchdown. And then they had, like, Indiana had the ball at, like, their 45, I think it was, and it was a 4th and 1. Cignetti was going to punt, but Illinois screwed up sending its punt team out there. They had the wrong personnel, so they had to burn a timeout. And then while Cignetti's sitting there during the timeout thinking about it, he's like, well, screw it. I'm just going to go for it. And then they get the first down, and 2 plays later, it's a touchdown. And I think that they were put them up 14, and things just absolutely steamrolled. I talked about it on the show earlier this week. said Illinois got off to slow starts against Duke and Western Michigan. If they get off to a slow start against Indiana, Indiana will steamroll them. They will bury them. They do not take their foot off the gas. They are too good of a team. That's what happened. Illinois got off to the slow start, and this was too good of a team to try to dig your way out of. And Indiana, like, I remember when Elijah Surratt sat with us in Las Vegas for the Cover 3 shows at the media days, and I asked him, I said, everybody wants to know who this year's Indiana is. Why the hell isn't Indiana this year's Indiana? Indiana is this year's Indiana. Them and USC are the fourth best, fighting for the fourth best team in the Big Ten. It's going to be one of those two.
And USC just gave up a touchdown to Michigan State, so we might on be
Indiana. Indiana is the fourth best team in the Big Ten.
Best team in the Big Ten. Bud, what'd you make of the ongoing of what we saw? But which, by the way, first ranked top 20 matchup in Bloomington since 1987. Like, this is what I didn't know that they called it the Rock. You know why? Because guess what? We haven't had a game of this significance there.
They call it the Rock.
There's a rock, I think, in an end zone. I don't know. Nobody's ever paid attention to a game in Bloomington.
This is something that I'm admitting my ignorance, and I'm coming in, open-minded about the situation. We are big Curt Cignetti fans. He's
maybe not Tom.
Not upset with Curt Cignetti for anything.
Yeah.
I mean, he took out his starters in the fourth quarter, man.
I know they went to Alberto.
He didn't even try to smoke it through the filter, and Indiana still outscored him. What? 14-0 in the fourth.
I mean, you go 21 of 23 through the air, guys. I bet you Mendoza has had quite a few 7-on-7s where he hasn't gone 21 through 23. Like that's a ridiculous stat line, especially when you're not throwing everything short. I don't know, but like I kind of think that maybe Illinois knew that they were outgunned and got out of sorts a little bit. Some guys trying to do too much to make up for the lack of your starters. And I say that because Illinois had been so far this year a pretty decent tackling team. And tonight I thought something like the yards after the catch stuff was pretty egregious by them. And I wonder if they just kind of felt a bit overwhelmed tonight. Indiana looks really damn good. We're going to kind of have the same questions of like what happens when they face a team with like a whole bunch of NFL talent in the lines of scrimmage, which honestly, I think when healthy Illinois has that, maybe not tonight, but they look better than they did last year. Because I think Mendoza is like definitely better than Rourke. It just may have taken a little bit for them to get to this point. I feel like last year they came out the gates and they were just murder ball from week 1. Now it's maybe like murder ball from week 2.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't great week 1. Yeah. They won, but it wasn't clean. And they've gotten better and better each week. So this was the big test. Indiana's really, really good. And the problem is we'll get the Penn State game and Ohio State this year, right? So we'll get to see. But I think that this is a coaching staff and a program that probably learned some lessons that will give them a better chance in those games. So very much looking forward to that. Again, 63-10 got sideways real fast. We do not need to linger. If you want to,
they got lucky.
If you want to think about, where Indiana will fall in the new AP Top 25, stick around. We'll be doing tomorrow's Top 25 before we get out of here tonight. Elsewhere, we'll go ahead and hang here. Had some laughs about it. So for Miami against Florida, Bud, how do you start to peel this onion?
I mean, Florida's offense still looks like hot garbage. They had 141 yards on the night. I said on Twitter, like if I was Lagway, I would redshirt. He looks totally out of sorts. He doesn't look healthy. He looks like he's moving really slow, like he's trying to protect his body. I would take the year and reset. And I know Florida fans will be pissed at me for that, but guys, your season's cooked now anyway. So I don't think that's not being a team player. Like if you're he doesn't look right. And that's a guy who has like real potential. And for those folks out there who would say, hey, he still has 2 more years after this. You know what? Sometimes you need all those years. Tyler Shuck did. Eventually you get it right if you're a guy who stays injured, and he does kind of, get dinged up an awful lot. Man, I watched this in the first half, and my lingering thought was Florida's offense still looks like crap. Florida's defense is still playing very hard for that defensive staff. And man, oh man, if Miami blows this is 100% on Mario for these first half decisions too. I mean, we are punting. Whew, have you seen, like, they punted from Florida's 46-47 and Florida's 39. Didn't they have an analytics guy last year, or was he just a clock guy? Like, maybe he's just to do it with a watch, right? Like, let's get like a watch and a book now. Miami's offensive line and defensive line are like dominant. I said on the last show, like, that Miami's the best line of scrimmage team in the country right now.
Right.
And maybe by a lot.
That to me informs the decisions.
Yeah. I strongly disagree with the Lagway take. He can redshirt it, sure. Okay. Like, he wasn't 12 of 23 for 61 yards. Like, and he was bad last week too. Like, maybe DJ Lagway is part of the problem. Maybe it's not just everything around him.
They could go to Trammell, I guess.
I'm not saying they should bench him, but I'm saying he could probably play a lot better than he's played. And at some point, if you're a quarterback and you are going to be the guy, you have to lift up the team around you. And he's not doing that. So I think he's talented. I think he's got tools. I don't see it on the field yet. I don't see him putting it together. I think Miami was the far better team. I think the score was very misleading. I think the Canes dominated this game from start to finish. And like you said, the only reason the game was even close was because Mario was just being ultra conservative in the first half. And Chip, you talked about it to start the show. There was a time when it was still 13-7 at the start of the fourth quarter, and Napier looked like he was going to kick the field goal. And I was gonna tweet the graphic, and I was gonna say Billy Napier's kicking a field goal to make a one-score game, and Mario's punting from plus field position multiple times. I was gonna tweet the escape room graphic, but then he changed his mind and went for it and got stopped. So whatever. But just, I don't know, man. I look at Florida's offense as an entire operation, and I don't see anybody playing well. I don't see the offensive line playing well. I don't think the receivers are playing well. I think Baugh is playing fine when he gets a chance, but I don't see DJ's playing well either. So if he sits out, it's not going to do him any favors.
Here's what I feel a little bit complicated about, and I know that it's 13 minutes is a little bit early for us to dip into things that we're not always supposed to do. But I don't love making commentary on commentary, but it was, I don't know if y'all had ears on this one. I know we all have a lot of screens. You got to figure out where your volume's going to be, but part of the commentary about this Florida team was like, I'm just looking for them to compete. I'm just looking for them to show some fire. And that to me just drives the narrative that do you think that this team is starting to check out on the season? Because that commentary connects those dots. Am I wrong about that? That, like, when you were offering that on that big stage game and you're just like, I'm just looking for someone to show some fire, show some compete out there. Like that, I couldn't, it felt unfair, but maybe I'm being too forgiving with that.
So I think there's a difference between like playing hard and playing sloppy, right? I don't think that Florida has not been playing hard. I do think they have been playing sloppy. When I watch Clemson, I'm like, Clemson doesn't give a shit. Clemson's just going through the motions. Like that. I think visually it does look different. Like, Florida still tries to play physical. They look like a team that didn't get any offseason work in the pass game.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of young receivers who haven't got to work with this guy. They don't run their routes to the right depth. They clearly like they're not on the same page as the quarterback in the passing game, which probably isn't very well designed anyway. Like the run game stuff is, I think, kind of fine. But yeah, I mean, I think they will check out for sure. Maybe they have a dead cat bounce at some point, but they're 1-3. Like, they already did their save the coach, save the season thing last year.
Yeah, I don't think this is a quit thing at all. I mean, they looked bad against South Florida and LSU too. It's just, I don't think it's effort. I think it's just ability.
Yeah.
And that defense, again, like the dam broke at the end, but just like last week against LSU, that defense is still doing every damn thing that it can to keep them in these games, and just praying that its offense can come through and do something to, help them win.
I still think Miami's really good.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a little bit concerned about the lack of zip from Carson Beck.
Ooh, I saw some velocity chatter. Some velocity chatter. Yeah, I can't play that game. I'm not enough of a throw power expert to feel like I can weigh in on that conversation. But I did.
I mean, like that ball to that Cormani picks. Sure, we could say Cormani did a nice job baiting him, and he did. I think a good throw still might get that, or at least isn't like easily picked. That thing hung forever. And then you watch a couple of the other ones, and then they go to a very, like, instead of conservative decision making like with respect to downs, they went conservative decision making with respect to throws. It was like, we're just going to throw a bunch of screens. I was like, maybe they know something that they're not saying.
Maybe the rain played a part in it.
That's possible.
Sun rises, sun sets. It's rainy and humid at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami in September.
Maybe it's like the dog days of summer. You'll see a pitcher sometimes, he's throwing 97, and then one start, he's only hitting 94. Just arm's a little tired. Had surgery on it. Maybe.
Some meatballs. I've missed getting all my dinger. I didn't bet enough dingers during meatball season, right? That late August, early September, guys just out there playing out the string, and batters who are trying to hit their benchmarks for contract bonuses.
You can still do that now. You go to the games featuring the teams that are out of it, who are just kind of throwing guys out there to get through to the end of the season. There's some home run value in those games.
Yeah, that's your baseball minute here on the Instant Reaction Pod. I'm glad I saw. We've still got a week, right? A week left of the regular season, maybe one or two series.
Yeah. Okay. A week. Yeah.
There's your tip. All right, let's go ahead and let's hit an early break so that we can reset for the capital C conversation about capital C Clemson. Okay, coming up on the other side, Fran Brown getting washed, the Orange coming up with the win, and Clemson falls to 1-3 for the first time in more than 20 years. What that mean? We'll let you know and more next.
Only CBS Sports can bring you big time during the heart of Saturday afternoons. It's big time.
It's big time. It's big time. It's big time.
On CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Back here on the Cover 3 podcast, elated, and I mean this earnestly, elated to see how many people parlayed the Sam Houston first half team total under with the first Sam Houston whole game under. I mean, goose egg. Yeah, felt good. Okay, so Bud, to your earlier point, that is like whether you are a current Clemson beat writer, a former Clemson beat writer, a former Clemson blogger, current Clemson blogger, like season ticket holder, diehard fan, like at times like these, I like to go closest to the source. The people who are going to feel it the most, the people who are going to know the most. And the one thread that is connecting all of this is that they are just not performing. Like they are not playing well. And the problem is now you have been not playing well 4 games in a row. Is that just who you are now? Now Clemson 1-3 again for the first time since 2004. Never happened under Dabo Swinney. Now they hit an off week. They return to action against North Carolina. I say, hey, I seen somebody say Clemson against North Carolina will kick off at 10 a.m. on Cartoon Network. Yakety sax. It's a soundtrack.
So bad.
Hey, whatever you got to do to up that TV package.
Well, how about Clemson's going to get more money because they lost to Georgia Tech in a game that everybody watched?
You're so
ACC payouts are so silly. Okay. What what do we do with this? Because while we are sitting here like firing off jokes, like Dabo's actually crying. I mean, like he is beat up 23 years with this program. He has literally raised his family, brought them all through, put them on the team. Now they're the holders and the coach. And like, this is as bad as it has been since he took over. I mean, but how do you diagnose this? How do you wrestle with this? And what do we do moving forward?
It looks like they just don't really care about Dabo's message, man. Like this team visually looks like they don't give a damn. You know, I don't think they play real hard for Cade Klubnik. I don't think they play real hard for Dabo. They used to. Like Clemson used to be a team that would play hard. Like they played hair on fire. Part of that's bigger, stronger, faster than everybody. But I just think now, like they look to me like they're out. It doesn't mean you got to be out forever, but I'd be surprised if they're not out for this season. And you know, I tweeted this earlier today. I was like, look, I guess now we learn that a team constructed either via the portal or via high school, obviously like my Knowles last year, they kind of any team can quit at any time, I guess. But I think the difference there is like this was supposed to be the team for Clemson. Like you're losing like the justification for the belief in Clemson this year was the talent level. All the NFL draft guys, and you know, certainly we had seen this too. Like they had some great individual players on this team and a large collection of NFL talented individuals. And you know, we think they would coalesce and just play better than they are.
You get Tom Allen. I mean, that's the thing is like we pressed
now
all.
You're
the
losing
buttons.
these guys, Chip.
You're just like, okay, we're gonna fix the offense. We're gonna go get Garrett Riley. That's gonna fix everything. No, the offense still has slow developing stuff where the run game doesn't really work and the quarterback looks like he's always a step behind the defense. All right, we're going to fix this defense that has supposedly all these NFL draft picks. We're going to go get Tom Allen. Look at this big poach that we just did from a program that was in the college football playoff semifinals. And look, defense got worked from the first drive in this game.
Yeah. I mean, you're losing a lot of guys off this team, assuming they decide to go pro. I mean, some are seniors and will have to go pro. Maybe some are playing so poorly you actually get them back next year. Those guys have cost themselves a lot of money.
I liked having Louis Riddick on this call because obviously he was a general manager, right?
I don't know if he was ever a GM, but he was in a front office.
He was a front office guy. He could not have been could not have been more beside himself with what he was seeing from the performance of this Clemson defense, calling these guys out left and right. You know, like as the game's starting to get away from him before the lightning delay hit, when I'm sure he came back really perturbed, you know, but like he was just like, DJ Parker, you got to go make a play. Peter Woods, you got to go make a play. You know, like these players who have been evaluated, who have been deemed to meet certain standards, and they're just, it was remarkable.
They play like they expect the opponent to just roll over.
The mystique's gone.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, they're 8-7 now against Power 4 teams since the start of last season. They are an average ass football team, and just, I mean, the defense tonight, like they didn't really look like they were trying all that hard. Like they looked disinterested in playing. You had Cade Klubnik dropping back to pass 60 times. I don't think you ever want Cade Klubnik throwing 60 times in a month, let alone a damn game. So just, I don't know, man. They're not good. They're a mid-tier ACC team this year. That doesn't mean they're dead. It doesn't mean they can't be good again next year. But this team, it's not good.
Did you, in the 54 minutes, which, by the way, shout out to Danny Kanell, who sprinkled Syracuse. The
biggest Clemson fan on the show. Bet against him.
So
I did say that now he has to go to Dabo's press conference. Now, like the Bo Nix beard bet, I assume he is going to
not do it.
Yeah, not do it. But
I mean, he should probably just go to Dabo's press conference to give Dabo his shoulder to cry on for the love.
So in Dabo's 54-minute press conference, at one point, he said, oh man, I'm sorry, Mikey. I should have sent this to you. It would be better, but whatever. I'll paraphrase it. He said, and maybe we'll lay an egg. Maybe we go 6-6. And there was something that was a little too specific about him saying 6-6. Like he is looking at this team and he's looking at this schedule, and he's like, "Yeah, we're still a bowl team."
I
So
mean, they'll
actually-
beat North Carolina.
If they play like this, BC is losable. I think BC's just as good, if not better, than Syracuse. Syracuse needed overtime to beat UConn and got absolutely watched by Tennessee.
I am not at this point in the season. I am not ready to just play the like judge you by your opponents. I understand that is fair and that is like how a model should work. But I think that Boston College does not have the high end gear that Syracuse has when Syracuse shows up to Death Valley.
Well, if Steve Angeli's out for any period of time, I would say Boston College is better than Syracuse for the rest
now. But
Yeah.
like even Ricky Collins carved him up, you know?
All right. Do we think Boston College is a losable game if Clemson is playing like they're playing right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. SMU's losable. Duke's losable. FSU's losable. Clearly, like at Louisville, you'll be a dog at this point unless you're really turning around. At South Carolina, if Sellers is healthy, you're a dog.
I'm going to take them against Furman, though.
Are they going bowling?
Yeah, they'll squeeze 3 wins. Or how many? They need 5 wins? Let's see.
They need 5 more.
So they can beat North Carolina.
I think they come back with, I think getting, oh, by the way, Chris Budden's report on the broadcast that the defensive line was hearing it from the fans in the front row.
I what were they hearing?
Like the fans were like laying into the defense to play better. Like, I'm telling you, this is coming. Like so much of the Clemson lore is about the haters on the outside, and we circle the wagons, and we keep everything on the inside in the family. Like this is, it's coming from inside the house.
You know what I would do if I were Dabo? Now the next 2 games are on the road, but next home game, I'm making them boys walk around the stadium. No more buses for you.
No more buses. I think the off week is going to do them a world of wonder. The worst thing they could do right now is go play Boston College right now.
Yeah.
So
do we see benchings?
I don't think Vizina I think we would have seen him before now.
Yeah, I don't think Vizina's the guy. Just based on watching them in spring and limited action.
Yeah. All right. So what about the Syracuse part of this? Hell of a win.
The Angeli
They played hard.
Yeah, a damper on it.
Yeah. That stinks. Do we have an update on that? I mean, we're just assuming that it's like, Achilles or.
It didn't look like something you're just going to bounce back from.
No.
Not non-contact, go down in the heap.
But the offense has been cooking. Do you think that Ricky Collins can stay productive? I mean, because we've got the redemption project of Jonte Cook out there. I mean, the pieces that they have put together to replace losing damn near every single pass catcher off last year's offense and your quarterback, and still you come out here and you're pretty productive. Not to mention Fran Brown. We're going to march down the field. Then we're going to do the onside kick. Then we're going to get it. Then we're going to go down and score. I mean, it was just all awesome. It was like, we are not effing around type behavior from that Syracuse team.
Also really concerned about the defensive line stuff.
For Syracuse?
Like that's one thing that had me so down on Clemson today. Syracuse D linemen were dropping left and right. And Clemson still couldn't do anything about it.
They did run the ball as well as they've probably run it all year.
That's true.
Just
perhaps in a bit of like a, shall we say, permissive game state from Syracuse.
I mean, yeah, they got game scripted out of it, but it was just, I'm looking for silver linings here, bud.
Can Syracuse make a bowl?
Yes. Yes. What game has not gone to expectation and this one flips it? They were at 5.5?
I think they were like 4.5 juice over, weren't they?
They could beat Duke at home next week, so that would get them to 4. So then they would need to win 2 out of at SMU, Pitt, at Georgia Tech, UNC, at Miami, at Notre Dame, BC. Better get them soon.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
We don't really know what BC will be at the end of the year.
I'll tell you what BC will be at the end of the year. 6-6.
They're not going to fire Dabo, right?
No.
Okay.
Have you looked at the buyout? By the way, Google
Like 60, right?
No more. Dabo Sweeney buyout Robbie Callen, CBS Sports. Remember, any coach you want to know their buyout, you just put in the coach's name, then you say buyout Robbie Callen, CBS Sports. That'll get you all the information that you need to know from our buyout expert, Robbie Callen. We thank Robert for all of his good work on this front. Yeah, he had the term sheet pulled up midway through the first quarter.
Jeez, dude.
It is so much money and no chance.
I am really interested to see how they go about this rebuild next year, though.
Yeah, because like you said, it could be. And you know what? Flushing it might be what they need.
But they don't exactly use the portal like other teams do.
Now
maybe that's because right. Maybe that's because they thought their roster was so good that like not a lot of players out there could help them, which perhaps they were correct. We don't know. But like, can Dabo just pull the ripcord on this thing and bring in 40 new guys?
I don't think he can. I don't think he will.
I don't think.
Right, I agree. I think he's gonna try to run it back.
Yeah. I just think they've taken a step back. So Tom was right. Hey, Tom, on a tough night, let's just say, Tom, you were right.
It's right about the Illini game too. I told you Illinois money line or Indiana spread. Alt line.
We're Indiana alt line. Yeah, money line, alt line. 100%. All right. Well, while we're out here, actually, I don't want to get vindictive. Let's do some praise first, because the town got a Sprouts and now they've got a football team that can go out and win a big game. Texas Tech goes on the road. Impressive, very impressive. I mean, Bud, what stood out what's sort of your headline that you've got taken away from the 34-10 win in Salt Lake City against the Utes?
I thought they hit really well. I think probably the most important thing they did in this game, though, was they did not get tricked by any of the Utah stuff, right? Like, I mean, that's kind of how Utah hits their explosive plays through the air, is to scheme coverage busts, basically, with all the the motion and the shifts and all the different stuff with the run fakes that they do. And honestly, like, Utah only had the wide open guys maybe twice.
One of them was called the first quarter. That touchdown was called back for what, holding?
Yeah. The illegal man downfield for some reason.
It was Fano.
Went downfield.
And it was their best freaking offensive lineman. And he was, I'll tell you what, that was so nitpicky that I didn't go back, but I'd be very curious. And anybody on the Texas Tech media, feel free to reach out to us on that. That seems like one of those that Joey got in the ref's ear. It's like, hey, like, watch this right here. A ref has to be tipped off to call, like, to me, the way that I saw it, to call that on, because yes, it was technically a legal man downfield, but man, there's a lot of linemen that are at that position that don't get flagged for that. You gotta have it on your radar.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I also thought they did a great job of making Dampier play quarterback from the pocket or from behind the chains, right? And he's just not, like, Dampier's going to go pro in something other than sports, right? Or maybe at a different position. He's not an NFL thrower.
Oh no, he might be an Argonaut.
Yeah. Okay.
I could see him as a Winnipeg Blue Bomber.
I mean, 38 for 162 is
Tom, I'm very serious about that. Okay. Darian Durant's one of my favorite North Carolina quarterbacks of all time. And that guy is a CFL legend. That guy's got Grey Cups on Grey Cups on Grey Cups.
I just enjoy you saying CFL team names.
I thought their D line was like very physical. They hustled to the ball. I thought the back seven hit a lot and did not allow like crazy tackles for loss. They played like good, inspired football. And then Will Hammond comes in, and he shows you why they didn't go get Jake Retzlaff. And honestly, like, I'm not going to say Hammond looks better than when Morton is healthy, because like
will.
Yeah, but early this year, Morton's looked unreal, like really, really good. But today he was better.
Their offense was much better in this game with Hammond. than it was with Morton, because like the final score is 34-10, but Tech scored 21 points or 24 points in like the last half of the fourth quarter. Like this game was much closer throughout most of the game than the final score suggests. I thought Tech's defense was incredible. The defensive line played very well holding up against that offensive line. They didn't get a ton of tackles for loss, but they didn't get pushed around either. They were just kind of hanging around, forcing forcing Utah out of its rhythm. Utah offensively couldn't do a damn thing. I will say the one thing I'm looking at this, Texas Tech had 7 false starts in this game. Why are you going to Utah on the road and not having a silent cadence?
This got Florida and Napier 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Remember that opening game out there? It was like, oh God. Yeah.
Like no matter what Chip says, like the muss is very loud and they're going to be fired up. So like you're out here clapping and you're getting like false start after false start. You should probably be prepared for a silent count when you're going to play in the muss, no matter what Chip Patterson says.
Those losers are only going to get a response from me on this platform because they didn't even listen to the whole damn quote. They just saw a little screenshot with the words underneath it. And if that's what you needed to motivate yourself to watch a 24-point loss at 10 a.m., sure. Fine. I'm not going to dignify that with a bunch of come at me on Twitter. That's fine. No, hey, you know what? I'm going to answer and respond to you in the place where I said it because I know that you're not watching. Because the full quote was, the muss ain't going to be rocking like it was in those Pac-12 after darks. That is an objectively fine analysis for what a student section in college is going to be like at 10 a.m. versus what it's going to be like at 8 p.m. A student section will be louder 100% of the time at 8 p.m. than what it is at 10 a.m. But those losers just stuck with the screenshot and decided that they were going to turn it into a whole motivating factor. So, look, they did a great job. They were showing it. Trust me, everyone was sending me like, well, look at this. Looky here, Chip. Looky here. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad they filled it up because those losers didn't get the whole quote.
You're not even going to, as long as you don't remind them that they've now lost 5 straight home games in conference, in Big 12 play.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Just don't tell them that, whatever you do.
Yeah.
So are you like TCU people? Are you Iowa State people for the Big 12 team that's going to play Texas Tech? Kansas?
I mean, did Hoover get hurt in that TCU game today?
Oh my God, dude!
He came back. That was the dumbest.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came.
And I
back
say this as somebody who was watching.
Squared.
I say this as somebody who watched his team get the crap beat out of it tonight, get injured the entire time, and still had a bunch of starters in the game come the fourth quarter. But yeah,
I'm like, I wish I had a hidden. If you've not watched this, I wish I had like a candid camera on you for when you do, because Chip, it was what, 4th and 15?
4th and 15, and we're just trying to like burn it out, and he hangs in the pocket.
Like last play of the game, basically.
Yeah, no, but then he came back out after
10?
He came back in after the interception and kneeled it out. Because that was the thing, is he hobbled off the field, and I was like, oh my gosh, they just lost Hoover. But he came back in for the kneels at the end of the game. So clearly he wasn't injured, but the guy, your really, really good quarterback, took a shot. Because they could have kicked a field goal, right? But they wanted to burn more time off the clock. Was that it?
I think so.
It would have been a long field goal. Like, the game is over by this point. Like, you could have just done. You could have taken a knee. You're not losing the ball game at that point. That was wild. You saw McAllister went for 254.
Decent day.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah, that was Skillet was fun.
TCU might just be a juggernaut, man. Maybe,
Yeah, TCU looks pretty good. Secondary could use a little work, but I will say, like, in a losing effort, Kevin Jennings, I thought played really well on a bad wheel. He was out there fighting tough. Like they were licking him pretty good, and I mean he just kept throwing strikes.
Yeah, that defense.
That was fun. That was a fun game.
SMU's defense, not good.
No, not great.
Yeah, that was TCU could have scored more in this game. Like it was, and well, I don't know. I take that back immediately after it because now I'm remembering. Now I'm remembering the dumb 50-yard heaves that were just
non-review.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
By the
way, Hall got ejected for Michigan State on this drive that USC just scored on. Which
good news for the team total.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, very.
So yes, I think Joey McGuire, I believe, said that Morton will be good to go. I joked in Slack that he's good to go grab the clipboard and the headset and start doing the Macarena out there and sending him the signals because I would have Will Hammond as the quarterback. There is an aspect that I will entertain that Utah was not prepped. Or you get Hammond, you get a little bit of a different skill set, so they throw some stuff at you you weren't really game planning for. I will definitely hear that. But we had heard throughout the conversation about, all right, how good is Texas Tech going to be? They spent all this money on their roster. Okay, how good is Baron Morton? He's really good, but he's got injury issues. Don't worry, Chip, because the backup is good. Don't worry, Chip, because they like Will Hammond. Well, I like Will Hammond a lot. I think that what he can give this team with his ability to run is noticeable, and I like it. I would be rolling with Hammond.
Please refer to him by his Christian name, Willie the Whip.
Is that real? Or did you
no, but that's what Gus was calling him on the game.
Oh, see, I had on TV wall, so I didn't have sound.
What did
Willie the Whip?
What did how'd it go in studio?
Good.
What
me and Shahan and Boney and those guys just chop it up. It was a good time.
The which game was getting sound? Because that's always a decision when you're looking at the TV walls, trying to figure out which ones we're going to get audio on.
So Clemson and then a little bit of Texas Tech, and in the afternoon games, mostly Michigan-Nebraska, a little bit Oklahoma-Auburn, but we went back to Clemson for a little bit because of the lightning delay. What else in the early window got sound?
Did Wisconsin get any sound?
It was more like a whimper.
Dog.
Dude.
Oh, hey, let's have a quick business discussion. Famous last words, obviously, because what we said last week didn't happen at all. You think we're getting Wisconsin or Florida tomorrow?
I hope we get both or neither.
I agree.
Yeah.
Band-aid this, or
like let's sit down, do an hour and a half or 1 hour total, and just an hour total, not like two setups over 2 different weekends.
I don't know. Wisconsin to me still feels unlikely, just because I don't feel like they've got somebody with the money to do it right now. But I also didn't think they would lose by that much at home to Maryland. So,
and it's like if the fans weren't gone, they were chanting "Fire Fickle."
Yeah, I mean that place was empty by the time that game was over. It was a mausoleum. So I don't know. We'll see. I wouldn't be shocked by anything anymore. As far as Napier, I don't know.
I mean, Florida is going into a bye week.
The timing on it is.
You would have Ron Roberts be it, right? For the interim. Not that our listeners care, but like the defense is still playing hard for him. He's kind of an older guy. He's experienced. Like sometimes we hear that we're not gonna fire the guy this early because who would lead the team? They seem to be playing hard for the defense coordinator.
You could. What about Sam Pittman?
That I think they're going to let him gracefully exit and take a position within the university. It's a hunch, but I would bet on it.
Gundy?
No idea.
We would get what's his name? Defensive coordinator at Oak State that they just hired. Everybody's third and
is it Gannon?
No. Who the hell? Who's Oklahoma State's defensive coordinator that they hired? Todd Grantham. So yeah,
Oh
third
God,
and
yes.
Yeah, so if they fire Gundy, we get Grantham as like interim. Just blitz.
I'm totally here for Todd Grant, the interim coach.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be.
That would make Oklahoma State enjoyable to watch. Not in a good way, but in a very perverse way. Like now it's just sad watching Oklahoma State. It could be funny if Todd Grantham's the coach.
Do you know who else would be interested in Todd Grantham interim coach? I hadn't actually thought about this since you mentioned it, but I can think of a couple people who would be interested in that. Dave Aranda, Brent Brennan, Willie Fritz, Scott Satterfield, Joey McGuire, Lance Leipold, Chris Kleiman, Scott Frost, and Matt Campbell. I think that those 9
Yes.
Great
setup.
Those 9 men would be extremely interested in interim coach Todd Grantham.
Does he like immediately join Big Noon?
Mike?
Yeah. Just put him on the desk. Like it would be hilarious.
There's other networks that he's like probably more.
not with pregame shows.
Yet. Not with a pregame show yet.
All right, let's see. All right. Coming up on the other side, just physical play at the line of scrimmage. It's what Michigan does, and it is how they got in and out of Lincoln with the win. Plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sacks for the Oklahoma Sooners to power a big win against Auburn and more. Next.
Name's Conrad Harrigan, family man. And if you cross my family, well, you'd better pray.
Mobland, new series streaming March 30th on Paramount Plus.
Back here on the Cover 3 podcast, to reference back the game that ended more recently that we discussed near the top of the show, Florida and Miami. I had with Oklahoma and Auburn the feeling that Oklahoma was mostly in control for most of the game, and yet you're watching in the second half, and here we go. Auburn gets back in this thing, and Jackson Arnold has a big 4th down conversion, and you get a pass interference penalty in the end zone, and then you're running it in, and sure enough, Auburn's got a 17-16 lead. And money line Mateer. At one point in the second half, I think I had him as 11 straight completions. Ends up finishing about 67% completion percentage.
Mm-hmm.
It was not an overwhelmingly awesome offensive day for Oklahoma. I think they could have done a better job of finishing drives, probably made this game a little bit less sweaty near the end. But it ends up being Mateer with his legs stretching across the goal line for the go-ahead touchdown that ended up being the not the winner, not the against the spread winner. No, that came from Mason Thomas and the defense to deliver the sack for an all-time cover burger. Listen. We'll say. Do you want to start there with the cover?
Yeah, I was fine with the cover. Tom, Chip, you're a baseball guy too, to some extent. What's like the most baseball-ish team that was just awesome pitching, a lot of strikeouts, timely home runs, it wins in the playoffs?
I guess you could go with like the Royals a few years ago with their bullpen, if you want to count that instead of starting pitching. That's kind of it.
The Giants.
The Giants work, yeah, for
it's
sure.
On your hat. I was hoping. Okay, I know you're a recent Giants fan. That's who they are, right? Like the defense is the awesome pitching. Mateer can't play from the pocket worth a damn, man. He is just off script magic. It's just chaos on offense. Arbuckle is an absolute wizard of a play caller, like scheming up enough stuff that he can hit. He doesn't really see the field very well from like the traditional, like let's read it out, man. But the defense is just going to keep him in games so much, and he's probably going to hit enough home runs more often than not. You know, I had him as my SEC champion last week for the playoff picks, and I just think that defense is really, really good. But today I'm backing off that a little bit because the total lack of a run game. I mean, I need you to be able to play like in structure at least a little bit, and that was concerning. I know they had some offensive line injuries and they had a lot of pressure on him, but at one point in this game,
I thought Auburn's defense answered the call in a way that I think, Bud, you were on this in terms of like, it's not just Falk. Like they've got a lot of players. That's a pretty good defense right there.
Yeah, I think they have a nice defensive line. You know, like they fly around a little bit. At one point, Oklahoma was on pace. I was in studio with Shahan. So there was 2 minutes left in the ball game, in the first half. With 2 minutes left in the first half, Oklahoma was on pace for 24 tackles for loss, which I think would be a record.
I mean, they set their own program record. You think about how many times Oklahoma's had nasty,
and that's a good O-line for Auburn. Like,
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I mean, how great is that too? I had this note. Last time that 10+ sacks was an AP ranked team, Mikey's got it on the screen. The fact that it also happened against Auburn, man, that's something. And that Auburn team was good. Didn't that 2017 Auburn team like make the SEC championship game?
Who was their quarterback that year?
It was the Kerryon Johnson year. I don't remember who the quarterback was.
Oh, it's
Nate Marshall?
No, Marshall's third.
No, it's the white guy who played for the Patriots. He played at Baylor and Texas Tech for a little bit. Stidham, yes.
Yeah, it was Stidham. Okay.
He was at Baylor, and then he was at Auburn.
Yeah, wasn't he a Texas Tech commit?
Maybe. Yeah. But, yeah, this is to me, the story here is Oklahoma's defense, which you could argue might be where do we put Oklahoma's defense?
One of the best in the country.
One of the best in the country. Yeah.
Like top 3, top 4. Yeah.
Yeah. There were 2 NFL quarterbacks on that Auburn team, by the way.
Who's the other?
Sean
Malik
White?
Willis.
Oh God.
But no, Oklahoma's defense. I mean, yeah, Auburn's defensive line was phenomenal. I thought Oklahoma's defensive line was phenomenal. I thought that Oklahoma's secondary was getting cooked a little bit by Cam Coleman, but
they couldn't guard him.
He is so good.
That's going to happen. Like I said when we were doing the big game breakdown, I said, Cortland Guillory, I like you, but you're going to see a lot of Cam Coleman in this game, and he saw more than he wanted to see on some of those throws. But yeah, I mean, I think Oklahoma is legitimately good, and like these are one of those games where you don't really play great, but you win. Like, you need to have these kind of games to get to the playoff, to get to the SEC championship. So the fact that Oklahoma is able to pull that one out to get off to a 4-0 start, I think is huge for them. And if I'm Auburn, like, it sucks. And I know that they're going to be pissed about, like, the one officiating call where the guy that was, like, pretended to be subbing out and stayed on, and the refs didn't call it, and the SEC released a statement about it, like, before we started the show. But
what did they say?
They basically said that it will be handled, and the refs screwed it up. And that's all they're going to say. But, like, if I'm Auburn, I don't feel terrible coming out of this. I'm actually probably somewhat optimistic in that we were able to hang with a good team on the road. Like, I don't, you know, they're not going to win the SEC, I don't think, but I think still a team based on what we saw today is going to be able to compete with pretty much everybody left on its schedule.
Oh, I like that for sure.
They could win the SEC.
They could.
I would pick 5 teams to win the SEC before I'd get to Auburn.
At least.
At least.
Yeah, probably 6 or 7.
Like, yeah, we're looking at that schedule. It's like nobody on there is like, I'm sitting there thinking Auburn's got no shot in hell of beating any of these teams. I don't expect them to beat them, but I think that they're going to be close games.
But I think that, to your point, Tom, the win against Baylor and the way that this went against Oklahoma you're going into this next little gauntlet not worried about losing the season. Because remember, we were talking about win totals for Auburn. We were like, oh no, all those winnable games are in the back half. But what if they've checked out? There is belief. I think that within that Auburn program, I think that they think that they've got a good team. They like their group, and this is still a team that very much can be competitive, as you mentioned, in every game that's left on the schedule, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. The big time game on CBS featured. It was a game that I thought that didn't carry massive, doesn't change the national landscape in a big way. I thought it delivered. I thought it was pretty fun. I thought that you've got a couple things happening at the same time. You've got the Bryce Underwood sort of arc and Bryce Underwood against Dylan Raiola. You've got Nebraska trying to just finally break through and end all of these wild statistical droughts. Michigan never really had the ball in this game. They just kept ripping off 60-yard, 75-yard runs for touchdowns. Kind of a wild one here. Yeah, we got thank you from Mikey on the screen. First Michigan trio with 50+ rush yards and a rushing TD in a Big Ten game since 2010. That would be Justice Haynes going for 149 and a score, Bryce Underwood 61 and a score on the ground, and Jordan Marshall 80 and a score on the ground. The feedback that I was starting to see, at least within the Nebraska circles, was you were encouraged by the competition, but that Michigan also showed some deficiencies that are with this team right now.
I was encouraged by things on both sides. I think the Nebraska skill guys are for real.
But the lines of scrimmage is they're
soft as hell, dude.
I think Michigan knew that, and I think they coached that way. I think they played that way. They're like, all right, well, if we get into a shootout and we're trying to go skill for skill, we're going to lose, especially on the road. But
I agree.
Try to mash these guys, and that's exactly what they did.
Now, defensively, I was not surprised, but a little bit disappointed by how much Michigan blitzed. I don't think you need to. I would like to see some more guys in coverage, and I know it's Wink Martindale, so that's just what he does. He's going to blitz, and I get it. But you had guys winning one-on-one pretty consistently from a pass rush standpoint. I don't know that you have to blitz. Raiola's seeing the field pretty well. He's finding the one-on-one stuff. I'd like to kind of flood the passing lanes more and just trust my front line to get home there. And we go back to what we said pregame. Cincinnati, a bottom half, but not not basement, but a bottom half Big 12 team with a completely rebuilt offensive line and not much NIL money. They pushed you around all night. Their quarterback just threw dumbass interceptions, man. They had a 70% rushing success rate. Michigan's O-line is way down from what it was. They were without their best blocker, by the way, and they still got whatever they wanted in the run game. How many defensive lines would you take in the Big Ten behind Nebraska? Let me rephrase this. Would you rather have Nebraska's D-line or Northwestern's?
Nebraska.
Nebraska or Purdue?
Nebraska.
Nebraska or Michigan State?
Healthy Michigan State or?
Sure.
I don't know.
Tie.
Nebraska or UCLA? Because I think it's bottom 5 in
Nebraska.
The Big Ten point. Yeah, I think it's bottom 5 in the Big Ten. Those guys don't look like they belong at Nebraska.
Yeah, it's not good.
I'll tell you, on our Knowles group chat, that was the combo. Mostly, it was Tony White got out of there at the right time, man. He realized what the loss of those big bodies inside, were going to be for this team.
Rutgers or Nebraska?
God, Rutgers is bad defensively this year. Tie?
That's the group we're talking about, though.
Yeah, right. They're in that not playable contention.
Yeah.
That was box score wise, that's one of the most misleading quarterback box scores pairings that I've ever seen in my life.
Between Underwood and Raiola?
Yeah, because if you were to just look at the box score, you'd think Underwood played horribly and Raiola was great. Underwood was fine. Wasn't great. He was fine.
Yeah.
He also had a touchdown pass that was an absolute dime that hit his receiver in the hands and he dropped it. There were a few drops that Michigan had. So Underwood's stat line should look better. And all of Raiola's came like on the Hail Mary and then the very final drive where they got the touchdown right before halftime. And boys, I'm done. I'm out on Dylan Raiola. I'm not going to pretend anymore. I'm not going to sit there and think it's going to get, he's just annoying. The stuff he does, where he's just like running left and flipping away with his right when he doesn't have to. And it just drives me insane because it's like, you remember how everybody started, like when Steph Curry first became a thing and they were saying Steph Curry's ruining basketball because now all kids want to do is chuck like 40-foot threes.
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes has ruined quarterbacking because now all these kids want to do all this stuff like Patrick Mahomes. And now obviously Dylan takes it to a very different level than everybody else, but he's trying all these stupid sidearm wrist flicky throws. He never steps into a damn throw, even when he's got a clean pocket. He just sits with his base is completely still and he just tries to fling it with his arm. It's horrible. And the fact that they let him get away with it repeatedly and nobody tries to fix it or like punish him for it. Like it drives me insane. If I'm a Nebraska fan, I would be out of my mind. You're not going to win with your quarterback trying to make all these cool throws instead of just making the damn play that's there.
I forgot who it might have been Chase Daniel who tweeted this, but I'm not sure who it was exactly. It was like, man, I think it was Chase Daniel who tweeted this, but he was like, dude, if I need somebody to take like the most nonchalant of drops and just do a bunch of casual throwaways, I know who I'm calling. And yet, like, he does some stuff amazingly. It's just like, it's almost like he's just trying to be too cool with it.
The one touchdown he threw, it was a blown coverage, but it was a very nice throw. But yeah, he's always trying to do like a off-platform back foot kind of twirly whatever throw, and it's like, bro, just step into it and fire. Like, you've got really strong arm. You could be in the NFL if you ever tried to learn how to play quarterback. Instead, you're trying to learn how to play Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes only does that when he has to. He doesn't do it every damn play.
Is Stafford his godfather? Is that it?
Matt, have a talk with him.
I was going to say, like, I think we've got somebody who can step in here because I haven't been breaking down Stafford film recently. I know he's been going through he started the season with some
he had a this is actually bad influence right now. He had an insane sidearm throw the other night.
Oh no. So Dylan's
just like
that.
He had a fadeaway like sidearm nonsense that was just beautiful.
I mean, this all goes back to just the way that nobody's bothering to develop quarterbacks anymore. Because like if I'm Dana Holgerson and I'm watching my guy do that every single week on tape, why am I not pulling him aside and saying, "Whoa, hey, come on, this is how you're supposed to do it." It's like I don't know. But I guess when you're only having him throw bubble screens all the freaking time,
I was going to say, because like Dana's like, I don't know, we're just trying to hit these short little passes and then hope that it sets up the defense for the one like deep shot later.
I don't think they had a whole lot of ability to protect it, to go deep, and I definitely get annoyed with like the visuals of how Raiola plays. Mm-hmm. It's annoying because it looks like he's not trying.
Exactly
how just casual he is with the dropbacks, right? And I'm not going to say the guy's not trying, but I do think like maybe style ranks too highly on his list of important factors. I also thought like he got the ball on time at times today. Like a lot of, I don't think most of these sacks were on him. I mean, Nebraska whiffed in some of these portal evaluations this year on both sides of the line of scrimmage, but like Pritchett really can't play, and he wasn't good at Bama either. And like they took him thinking they would fix him, and they so far have been unable to do so. Like there was pressure in his lap pretty quickly a lot of times tonight, I thought. And he played better against Michigan's defense than Mateer did, I thought. I mean, when you factor in the drop picks that Mateer threw, right? Like Mateer threw the cookies, they just dropped. But that's really not on Michigan. It's on Mateer.
there were some balls that Raiola threw today that should have been picked too. There was
Yeah, that's
one
fair.
that was. But like the one where he's getting sacked and he threw it, his own offensive lineman caught it. Like, bro, what?
Yeah.
But I will say too, you mentioned their offensive line. Like, they're not coaching their quarterback, nor are they considering that, hey, our tackles are getting the hell beat out of them on an island all day. Maybe we should give them some help. Why? I mean, there was a whole lot that Nebraska was doing today that was just kind of whatever. But here's a number for you guys. 28. Do you know what it is?
The number of consecutive games against ranked opponents that the Nebraska Cornhuskers football program have lost.
Correct. Here's another number for you. 18. Do you know what it is?
Ooh, I don't know 18. Tell me.
No.
The number of losses without a victory that Matt Rule has against ranked teams since leaving Temple, where he was 2-5, and he is now 0-18 at Baylor and Nebraska.
I don't think he's a bad coach. I just
No,
don't
neither
think
do I. But we're going to give James Franklin crap for it.
I mean, we give Franklin for the top 10. This is AP ranked opponents.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is nothing that guarantees that Michigan will still be a ranked opponent at the end of the year. And we'll get to tomorrow's top 25 today here shortly. But that's a teens ass team. You know, no one's looking at Michigan. We are 4 weeks into this college football season. Everyone respects Bryce Underwood's talent, the way Michigan is built at the line of scrimmage, the absolute monsters that they have when they want to tee off on you in the pass rush. But they can be got. They've got some weaknesses. So no one's ready to put them in that conversation as a top 10 team in the country.
Are you more worried about Michigan's secondary, or are we just going to give more credit to Nebraska's receivers?
I think Nebraska's wide receivers are pretty good.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Like I don't think Michigan's defense is what it was last year.
I don't think Michigan.
Sure.
It's so funny. I think Michigan on the perimeter, offensively and defensively, is the weakness, and I think Michigan at the lines of scrimmage, offensively and defensively, is the strength.
If you combine these two
The middle
teams,
10.
That's it.
If you combine Michigan and Nebraska, that's like a top 4 team right there.
But can we cap Bryce Underwood instead of Raiola?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm taking Bryce over Raiola. Yes.
Yeah, because I feel like I've seen more from Bryce in 4 games to give me hope about who he's going to be than I've seen from Raiola in 17 now.
Petiti should issue like an in-season trade. He's like, I'm sending 2 receivers from you up to Ann Arbor. We're going to send a couple 300-pounders down to Lincoln, and let's roll with it. We're both better off.
We'll be able to do that by 2040. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
But Tom, to your point, Gary had it on the broadcast where it was like, drops back, sees the split safeties, know the middle of the field is going to only have a referee in it, and look at my speed. Here we go. I mean, there are so many quarterbacks in college football today who just simply were not seeing it, and Bryce Underwood is in his 2nd career road start, 4th career start. Seems like he was seeing it.
Say what you want about Michigan's offense. All right, going back to Harbaugh, and now with Sherrone Moore and how conservative they are, and blah, blah, blah. I think Bryce Underwood at this point knows more about reading what a defense is doing before the snap than Dylan Raiola does, because I think Michigan's offense actually forces you to do so. Whereas in Nebraska's offense, you're only reading what your one player does. So that's why when you're Dylan Raiola, you don't even notice that corner is there, and you drop back, and without even ever looking, you turn to your right to throw the pass, and you throw it directly to the Michigan defensive back because you never saw him there.
I'm glad you brought that up, because the couple times that Michigan did get sacked tonight or got hit, they were trying to get more of that downhill run game look out of pistol.
Mm-hmm.
And Bryce gets smoked on the one. I think it's a corner blitz. I'm curious to see how they incorporate, because obviously you get the more downhill run look because you're actually turning your back to the defense. It's like a true run fake as opposed to just in gun, but you're not seeing it.
I'm sure that's going to be one of the adjustments, one of the things they work on as they continue to move forward. Again, Michigan now 3-1, only loss coming on the road to Oklahoma. Good football team. We'll be curious to see as they continue to develop moving
Playoff
forward. We were talking. I would take like Indiana and Michigan are not playing this year.
They have to go to USC, then they get Ohio State. Just I don't know.
We'll see.
If they win on the road at USC, I think they'll be very much in that conversation going into the Ohio State game, and they'll probably only have no more than 2 losses at that point.
Who has a better case to make the playoff at 10-2? Indiana or Michigan?
Well, Indiana just beat a top 10 team by 53.
This is true.
So
They might have beat them by too much.
what are you thinking, Kurt? Call off the damn dogs.
Yeah.
How much Apple Cup did we get in?
A little bit. I'm extremely concerned about both these defenses.
Okay.
Washington State's offense sucks, and they still move the ball in Washington.
My notepad from what I was able to gather was Denzel Boston in a season of first team All-Americans and superstar players who didn't quite live up to it. Denzel Boston seems to be doing that. He's really good. I'm very happy when the players that we thought are really good continue to live up to it. Also, that game was really close. I had to put my head down to do some writing. I looked up and it wasn't. I think from what I could tell, trying to catch up, it goes back to your Washington State defense commentary and that, Washington is skilled.
I don't want to interrupt, but I will. I don't think we're going to be hearing much from the Calgorithm this week, folks.
No.
San Diego State just had a defensive touchdown. They are now up 20-0 on Cal.
Listen. Wow. I'll say it first. Sean Lewis has had a tough go of it, man. Mm-hmm. You go get that win. Playing at home in Snapdragon Stadium. Isn't that what it is?
Yep. It's a cool name for a stadium.
A whole football stadium sponsored by a tablet or a computer.
Like Snapdragon Stadium sounds like a place where they got like dirt bike racing. You know what I mean? It just sounds we're going to Snapdragon Stadium.
They all Cal players, maybe they all got recruited to go work in like tech jobs at Snapdragon.
That was the distraction. Yeah. They had a job fair before the game started.
They were showing off their apps and not studying their playbooks.
Yeah, tough. Listen, Jerry Chiave Sagapolotelli is still good enough to dice up an ACC defense throughout the schedule. Cal is not put together enough to avoid laying an egg in this kind of week 4 non-conference road spot. So I agree with you. We're probably not going to be hearing from the Calgorithm, but I'm not going to totally bail on that one. As I said, the
Quieter
ACC
than the Utah student section.
The ACC is they are a crab in a bucket conference. They will figure out ways to settle down. How about Trinidad Chambliss? I mean,
I did not see any of this game.
This is another one that I kind of starred in the Will Hammond department. If you want to go with Chambliss the rest of the way, or at least for now, not going to argue with you.
He played well. Tulane looked a little out of gas.
Well, but
overmatched.
You blew your wad on Northwestern and Duke?
Right.
What? Are you saving
unders?
What?
Doesn't Ole Miss have one of those crazy easy schedules?
Ole Miss, you mean crazy easy? It's the same as last year. It is set up for them
so
to win
crazy
a whole bunch
easy.
of games.
Yeah. Like really, like just a cakewalk easy schedule.
Yeah.
Are those guys? So 99 and was 7 for Michigan State just slammed into each other on defense. And remember, Hall's already ejected, so like we might have 3 starters down going into the half. If you are
target your own
interested
teammate
with the NCAA rules, they'd probably call that nonsense.
I'm now looking at the box score. I did not watch this game. Wow. Jake Retzlaff, 5 of 17 for 56 yards. Don't worry, we'll bring in the backup. Sullivan, 5 of 12 for 48. Just not a fun time for Tulane.
No, just didn't have it. But I'll rock with that too. And you know what? Maybe it was bigger fish to fry Saturday. Because if you weren't going to win, if Memphis is entered this American race is awesome. North Texas,
it's a fun league.
North Texas looks really good. The American's a lot of fun.
Jake melting down. By the way, you were saying how was Lauderdale like Jake melting down about North Texas, like almost blowing that game to Army when Army can't pass was that was pretty classic. I made a basketball reference. You guys actually would have been pretty proud of me here. I was like, Arkansas is like that team that can score a ton of points, plays no defense at any point in the game, and then kind of tightens up towards the end and also can't shoot free throws.
Hey, nice.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Just make your free throws, kids.
Free throw awareness month will be coming
March.
After extra point. Hey, you want to talk about extra point awareness month? If Missouri makes one extra point, we hit our team total over.
And we
What was
covered
up
the
with them
9.5.
drop kick? But they were drop kicking tonight.
Eli's just a nerd.
No, I'm
Doing
still in
nerd
on
stuff.
still in on Missouri. I'm not going to overreact.
They're on probation for a week. I mean, honestly,
I'm in on
Illinois
them
got
with that schedule. Yeah.
Illinois got beat so bad, I might just be a Mizzou fan for the rest of the season. Who knows?
Jeez.
Did y'all get much eyes on Missouri, South Carolina?
Yeah, I was watching it. I mean,
Yeah.
I needed to divert my attention from the game that was on the big TV.
Well,
I mean, I thought like that was a very Lenoris Sellers performance in that at times he would do something really cool and then he would also take a sack for like a 20-yard loss on 1st and goal from the 3. And it's like, bro, we gotta wait. I remember like, what was the one game last year? I think it was against Arkansas. Well, we're on the subject of that, but like where he was being sacked and then he kind of threw the ball, like just kind of sky hooked it right into a defender's arms, if I remember correctly. We've got to wipe that out, Lenoris, because that's not going to help your team win. But just overall, I thought, like, I don't think the game was as close as the score. I feel like Mizzou left a lot on the field, like you said.
Hell
they
yeah, they did.
missed the extra points.
A lot of field goals where they weren't able to punch them in for touchdowns.
They weren't able to finish drives.
Yeah.
Like, just that could have been a much better game, but their rush defense was phenomenal. And South Carolina's rushing offense is just stunk.
That's
all year long.
One of these teams was really good at running the football and stopping the run, and then the other one was the exact opposite at those two things right there.
Like there was a lot of talk about that Faison kid that they got from Utah State and how they were hoping to get the waiver. They probably should have. Maybe now you're wishing that thing didn't get passed because that guy has not been very good.
But they were relying on him.
Yeah,
because
I
it's
know.
not like they're positive that they were going to have an answer elsewhere. But you get me. Oh, go ahead.
They had nobody on their team finished with more than 10 yards rushing. Their leading rusher was Attaway, 3 for 7.
Oh. All right. Bud, let's check our setting. Oh, there we go. Wait. No.
Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O.
All right. All right. But this Michigan State injury is bad. Like you got guys crying on the field.
Oh crap!
They're bringing out the stretcher. The Matthews, I think his name is, for Michigan State. Yeah, they got the card out. Oof, shit. Obviously, we hope he's okay. Yeah. South Carolina was not going to be able to run the ball in Missouri. Missouri basically, I think, declared that by formation and personnel. And all right, if you can beat us with your arm, do it. And for a little while, he did. and then he couldn't. Ahmad Hardy is a hell of a back. Like,
Yeah.
best backs you've seen this year. Justice Haynes, the kids with Notre Dame.
Yeah, Love and Price combined, especially if
They're
we're
good.
going to factor in Price's like
Yeah.
special teams ability too. That running back room gives you a lot more than a lot of others.
Hardy, I think, is sort of up there.
Mm-hmm.
Who else would you put on that list?
This is where we get yelled at for forgetting to include people. All right, nobody at Bama, nobody at Auburn,
Jonah
nobody at
Coleman?
LSU.
Jonah Coleman,
Coleman's good.
Hollywood Smothers.
How about LJ Martin at BYU? BYU hadn't played a lot.
He plays well.
They got to step up in competition coming, but I thought they handled business at ECU well.
I think Wayman Jordan for USC is that guy.
Ooh.
Moss at A&M's interesting.
Yeah, Joel in the tailgate mentioned the kid from Louisville, Isaac Brown. Isaac Brown's super talented. He was one of the best freshmen in the country last year. If we're going Browns, I would rather go Raleek Brown, just based on only looking at performance this year, not based on overall talent, So, let's see. What else? Anything else from Saturday before we hit one more break and get into tomorrow's top 25 and wrap it up?
From Saturday. No. UNLV Miami, Ohio was wild.
Wild game.
Yeah, that was. Go watch the highlights of that.
Notre Dame and Purdue. Notre Dame won by 26. Hope you got the right number there if you followed on Purdue.
Liberty's quarterback got knocked out. They were actually pretty competitive until that happened. He was in a sling, so I don't know what his status is.
Miracle cover for the Temple Owls.
Yeah. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
Kansas dog walked West Virginia.
Yeah. I think Buffalo's second string quarterback lost to Troy's third string quarterback. If I pulled that up at the right time.
I forgot to do a count of all the challenges. Bud, I figured out late in the day on Thursday that we had a bunch of like CUSA Sunbelt games. Like MAC CUSA games. I'm gonna go ahead. I'll pledge that now. One of my upon further review items is to give you the scoreboard from week 4 conference challenge week to figure out who ended up coming out on top.
Didn't Middle Tennessee win
against Marshall?
Yeah,
I know. It was
Marshall came back. Excuse me.
Okay.
What the hell is up with Coastal? All of a sudden playing okay. Like Coastal looked like a bottom 5 team in the sport for about 2 weeks, and now they're just
teenagers, man.
I'm telling you.
I know that we always talk about how Major Applewhite might need to have a conversation with his defensive coordinator if Tad Hudson is carving your defense up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure, Chip. Delaware beat FIU by 22 on the road. Okay.
Is Delaware good?
They're
kinda.
I mean, they just beat UConn and FIU.
I watched them a little bit against UConn. They're definitely not like expansion team looking like they look like a team that belongs in the FBS.
I would agree. I like that. They do not look expansion team. Duke NC State was very, very dumb. Extremely dumb. I don't know how many eyes y'all got on this one, but
we got a thumbs up from Matthews while he was put on the backboard. Anyway,
oh, good. All right.
Waved the team away from the cart before it drove off, slowly moving across the field to the tunnel.
All right.
Nice.
Still scary. We wish we wish full recovery for Matthews on that. That's little chills on that one. All right. We will re-rack this, take a quick break, come back with tomorrow's top 25 today and close it out. So coming up on the other side, how high will Oklahoma climb? Where will Illinois fall? All that and more. Next.
The crowd loves champions. Gladiator 2 is an epic spectacle. To amuse you is my only wish.
The glory is yours, not mine.
Very good. Gladiator 2, rated R. Now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Back here on the Cover 3 podcast, where we always like to try to get you set for the new AP Top 25 poll being released on Sunday with a look at the changes in the rankings. We call it tomorrow's top 25 today. Now, you can find a story by the exact same title on cbssports.com. And so I like to ask my friends here, just sort of play some guessing games here. Do you think that Oklahoma can jump into the Georgia-Oregon range of the top 10? I think that being number 11 last week, beating Auburn at home, and so many teams straight up not playing or not playing anybody. Let me give it a little bit of context for those listening at home. 6 of the top 14 teams in the country were off. Just straight up didn't play this week. The only top 10 teams who even played a power conference opponent were Miami and Illinois. So in terms of big movements, we've only got a couple of results that are going to spark big movements, but I think one of them could be Oklahoma over Auburn, and that would not be big in terms of the number of spots, only notable because it is changing the conversations in terms of where the Sooners are landing and who we compare them to. So I'll ask, do you think the Sooners can get as high as 6?
I don't know if they'd get as high as 6, but I do think that they'll probably get into that like 7 to 9 range. Like, I don't think they'll be 10. And I mean, if you just look at it from like a resume perspective, not from an AP ranking perspective, but from like a power ranking perspective, is there a team out there that has 2 better wins than Auburn and Michigan right now?
There's not a team that has 2, but I wonder if Florida State's win over Alabama counts. I've got them at 8, 1 spot behind Florida State, but I could see them being ahead of Florida State and being at 7. And that is, like it often is, as y'all, probably gotten sick of hearing me saying, has to do with the voting points and the way the ballots came out last year. There was a definitive tier. It's like 1,400 voting points gets you into the Oregon range. And then there was less than 60 votes. And we're talking like 1,160 something to 1,000, 80 something. Like it was a very small gap from 7 to 11. So I've got Oklahoma basically jumping from the bottom of that tier to the top of that tier, but I don't know if they're going to jump all the way up into that Georgia-Oregon conversation.
Who would they have to jump to get to 8, Chip?
They would jump Texas and
Illinois.
Huh?
It's going to be a good day of arguing online.
Texas. Listen, Oklahoma over Texas is totally fine.
I don't know. Did you see Arch stare down that
Texas right now?
Arch stared down that Sam Houston dude. He's like, do you know who I am? Do you know my name? Do you know my family?
I have an unpopular opinion on that.
Let's hear it.
Can he just like release a little bit, just have a little fun?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Can I release a little bit? My team lost by 53. Can I have some fun?
You can, but it's
all
like,
right, then shut up and let me make fun of Arch. Big tough guy Arch.
That's like a Taj Boyd level ass whooping.
Yeah, I've got Oklahoma jumping up to number 8. I've got Indiana jumping from 19 to 10. I've got Texas Tech jumping from 17 to 11. I think Illinois hangs in, Tom.
Okay.
9 to
I don't want them ranked. Get them out.
9 to unranked is a big drop.
Get them out. You lost by 53.
Kidding me?
We're going to be talking about like BYU getting in, TCU getting in. I mean, we're dipping into new territory here. Mississippi State, I think Illinois carried enough weight with the voters that they're not going to fall all the way from 9 out, but they are definitely going to be in that point where next loss gets them out.
Get them out. Tank big noon kickoffs ratings.
Can we drop LSU? Not out of the polls, but just drop them down some.
I would, yeah.
So
Like the wins that were the booing them are Florida, who might not score 2 touchdowns against Miami if they played 10 quarters, and Clemson, which is a lot worse than we thought.
If Georgia, your request is heard, and I'm sure that there will be people that will do that. But if Georgia didn't jump LSU after beating Tennessee in Knoxville last week, they ain't going to do it this week.
But I think the difference is we now have 2 very confirming data points, right? Like Miami handled Florida better than LSU handled Florida. Like Florida gave LSU 5 turnovers, and LSU still didn't pull away until kind of late.
But our final margins were not different enough. So at the beginning of the day, when I made my notes of big moves that could happen to just sort of be thinking about, I was like, if Miami pastes, I was like, if Miami pastes Florida, we could talk about maybe being as high as number 2, but definitely jumping LSU for number 3. And I just think that 13-7 and heading into the fourth quarter for voters who are flipping on all the night games and trying to figure out who's who and what's what, that doesn't look that different than 20-10 the week before in the exact same spot on the exact same network.
That's fair.
Final margin will look different, but I don't think that Miami was impressive enough to spark that jump. But yeah, it is 100% a fair statement to go for.
Do you have TCU jumping in?
Yes.
Okay. And Auburn dropping out, obviously.
Utah and Auburn dropping out. Utah was a late addition. I don't know if you remember that. They started the year unranked, and they really only got in, after blowing the doors off UCLA, which has now fired their coach.
That's Indiana going too.
I think I said 11, right? 10th, yeah. Indiana 19-10, Texas Tech 17-11, which basically is so easy for voters because Texas A&M and Iowa State didn't play. When you're looking at the tiers and the way they're split up, just slot them in right there. Let's see. For Michigan, slight bump up, but no real change in terms of the overall pecking order. Notre Dame. They finally got a win, Tom. They got to win. They shouldn't only be ranked. They should move up. Write a column about it.
Purdue is feisty, all right?
Man, I got to tell you, looking at the others receiving votes from last week, this was this is probably one of the easier ones Chip has had, right? Because a lot of these teams either lost or they didn't play anybody.
Right.
Who had a good win? TCU and Arizona State?
Arizona State beat Baylor. I think that's decent.
And BYU just had such an advantage. BYU was close to USC last week. BYU was very, very close to breaking in. So double-digit win on the road across the country. Sure, they'll get they'll get a few more to punch their ticket on in. And who knows? Maybe Arizona State after that big win against Baylor ends up breaking through. If USC ends up, we'll see. We got
that was a fun Big 12 game, by the way.
It was a fun game.
Oh, the fourth quarter especially.
Mm-hmm. That was that's what the Big 12 is. That was that's a quintessential Big 12 game.
Yeah. Of course, head over to cbssports.com to see the full 1 through 25, our projections of how the new top 25 will look on Sunday. All right. Anything else from the notebook? Did y'all watch any of North Carolina?
No.
Yeah. They stink.
Yeah.
I
kind of think I know what UCF is. I looked at that box and I was like, oh my God. Is this the worst North Carolina team in your lifetime?
No. The team that quit on Larry Fedora
Okay, yeah.
Well, like Larry Fedora won 5 games across 2 seasons, 3-win season followed by a 2-win season.
And he got an extension?
No, they got fired.
Oh, okay.
And they hired Mac Brown. So 2017 and 2018. Carl Torbush, if you want to remember some dudes. Carl Torbush took over after Mac Brown. He was Mac's defensive coordinator. And it was Carl Torbush. It was one of those situations where, like, I think week 1 or week 2, he lost to Furman. And it was like, oh God, like second year. I mean, just very quickly, we realized we promoted the internal guy, but the internal guy can't run this program. They didn't stick with it for long, but he still had a team that was decent. And this team's just, until the North Carolina football team gets healthier along the offensive line, their offense is just not going to be great.
Are you guys watching UTSA Hawaii?
Not right now.
So they just scored. Okay.
All right. Anything else?
San Diego State. Oh, SDSU scored again. It's 27-0.
JKS just threw another interception too.
Holy cow.
Whew. All right. We will recap how the algorithm.
Holy cow, more like.
We will recap how the algorithm responds to said things. When
we need to recalibrate.
Hey, there we go. All right. And we'll see how USC ends up handling things up 24-10 at halftime. So come back and join us Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And you can follow him on Twitter at Tom Fornelli. You can follow him at Bud Elliott 3. You can follow me at Chip _Patterson. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Illinois lost by 1 billion.